In the movie Avatar, Earth has established colonies on Mars but is on the verge of collapse. Earth is overpopulated and suffering food and energy shortages. That is where the RDA, or the Resource Development Administration, comes into play. A private company heavily invested in solving Earth's problems. The RDA origins can be traced back to a small Silicon Valley garage startup in the early 21st century. Within a few decades, they had the ability to construct a world-spanning rapid transit system, allowing groups of people to travel thousands of miles to work wherever they were needed. As well, they were involved in food development to feed the Earth's massive population. The first interstellar trip to Pandora was extremely costly, but became profitable with the investment in the mining of unobtanium. Unobtanium as a superconductor became crucial in the continued operations of the global transit system and solving Earth's energy crisis. As well, it is used to power the antimatter engines in the spaceships. For the first time, mankind would have the ability to spread into the stars. When humans first arrived on Pandora, the discovery of the Na'vi was shocking and surprising. They were both humanoid and far more primitive than mankind. Many religious people saw it as proof of a creator of the universe, and others saw it as evidence of panspermia. After this discovery, the UN put large amounts of pressure on the RDA to set up a communication line with the Na'vi. At first, this program was solely to study their culture and language and establish communication. However, communication was deemed difficult at first. I have no doubt that short aliens of different skin color and shape, wearing face masks, probably looked like demons to the superstitious culture of the Na'vi. Regardless, open communication for various reasons was deemed not possible. There was a need for a more profound means of communication, and the RDA had already begun research into the tech to transmit human thoughts over distances for enhanced communication. This new technology would develop into the Avatar program. At first, it was difficult to scale to a Na'vi brain due to the three-lobed structure of the Na'vi. However, they built on their work under the direction of Dr. Lovecraft, who had studied sensory bonding work that was being done on brain-wiped primates and condemned criminals. Later, the study moved to twins, human-animal hybrids, and eventually human-Na'vi hybrids. The Na'vi don't use DNA or RNA for their genetic information. Because of this, it took months of computing to create a translation table from DNA to their structure of storing genetic information. After several failed attempts that resulted in irreparable damage on volunteer subjects, the Avatar program became a success. The avatars have reception nodes grown in their brain that allows a user to operate them from large distances of tens of miles. Attempts to project control into a body not matching the correct DNA has always failed. The original intention of the Avatar program was to create a locally controlled mining team that wouldn't have the problems of working in the environment and didn't put human lives at risk. This turned out to be too costly, so instead, the avatars were used for field work and to study and interact with the Na'vi population. However, there was a mistrust right off the bat because the human DNA made the avatars have 5 digits and smaller eyes than the local population. However, there was success with this communication, and eventually there was even a school built that allowed the Na'vi children to be taught English. However, after time, this relationship began to deteriorate, and eventually was completely broken at the school shooting incident. At this point, the avatars were directed directly to benefit and assist the mining operation. The Na'vi are a hunter and gatherer culture with Stone Age or slightly more advanced technology. They don't have a written language, but share their culture worldwide through storytelling, song, dance, and the crafts. Their verbal history can be traced back as far as 18,000 years, although one could not tell what is historically fictional or not. Their culture is based on a spiritual connection to their world and to the natural order.
She's always going on about the flow of energy, spirits of animals. She talks about a network of energy that flows through all living things. All energy is only borrowed, and one day you have to give it back.
As well, they worship the god or deity of their moon called Eywa. Certain trees allow the Na'vi to connect with and in a way communicate directly with their deity Eywa. They can upload memories and download memories from the dead, a kind of biological afterlife. In the movie, Jake is even able to transport his consciousness through this network to the avatar body. It is unclear on whether the dead exists in a sort of self-aware afterlife, or if Eywa simply possesses their memories. It is believed this network of tree roots has more connections than the human brain itself. Eywa appears to be a self-aware planet governing intelligence, similar to Ego in the Marvel movie Guardians of the Galaxy. The extent of Eywa's powers are not fully explained, but one of them is mind control over biological organisms themselves. We see this in the end battle when Eywa summons the animals of the moon to attack the humans as a mass army. It is unsure on whether or not Eywa can exert this same type of power over the Na'vi themselves. Since Eywa can download memories directly into the Na'vi's brain, this does make it extremely easy for Eywa to download any type of mind control or idea that Eywa wants the Na'vi to believe or follow. Aswell, Eywa seems to have little concern with the life of the moon unless it is seeking to balance out life in a calling or is harvesting memories from the Na'vi. This could explain the worldwide low population of the Na'vi and the lack of technology.
Our great mother does not take sides, she protects only the balance of life.
And with the whole planet to their own, they are unable to get their population above much more than 1 million. I would not be surprised if Eywa has called the Na'vi worldwide many times if their numbers got too high or a certain group started to experiment with agriculture or something of the sorts. Eywa had no problem attacking and killing humans to restore balance on the planet, and there is no reason for Eywa to not hesitate to do the same to the Na'vi if a certain group started getting out of line. This could explain the docile mindset of the Na'vi and the lack of motivation to improve their life from a brutal hunter and gathering lifestyle. As you can see, there are very few elderly and 0 disabled people among the groups and the tribes. And the tribes are unable to get their population much higher than a few hundred each. However, they seem to be completely content with this lifestyle and have no motivation to make improvements. They have made virtually 0 progress in 18,000 years, and I do believe that Eywa is the reason for this. Furthermore, war is not very common among the different Na'vi tribes. However, there has been times that war did break out, and the Na'vi continue a very strong warrior culture even among times of peace. They do have stories that highlight some of their war history in the movie. Also, among the Na'vi, a person has to continually prove themselves as a warrior or die trying.
You will have one chance, Jake.
How will I know if he chooses me?
He will try to kill you.
Outstanding.
Unobtanium is a mineral found on the moon Pandora, and mining it is saving the humans' energy crisis. It is ultimately being required to ensure their survival and ability to spread out into space. This need for humans to continually harvest this mineral has become the leading cause of the bad relationship between the Na'vi and humans. For the humans, they will go extinct if they don't mine this mineral, but they have no choice but to lay waste to parts of Pandora in order to do this. This has put the humans in a moral dilemma. They must continue to mine on this planet to save the human race, but are stuck with having to push aside primitive species that don't have any type of understanding of what an energy shortage is. From the Na'vi's perspective, the humans are aggressive and destructive for no reason but personal gain. There is criticism for sure to put on the human side. They could have chosen other areas to mine other than the Na'vi's home tree, or they could do their best to not destroy local habitats. As well, the humans are to blame for putting themselves in this situation in the first place. They have destroyed their home world and created a situation where they are reliant on unobtanium. Furthermore, the RDA may be fulfilling a need that the humans have, but that does not mean that they are doing it to be noble. They have massive financial incentives in this operation. Jake does take blame too. In the movie, Jake completely ignores his mission, and he had many opportunities to explain the position that the humans were in to the Na'vi. Perhaps if the Na'vi understood better the desperate situation of the humans, they would have been more willing to negotiate, but Jake completely failed to explain this to them. I do believe that some type of equal beneficial relationship could have been reached if Jake had done his job as an ambassador. The humans could have done their best to protect nature while mining operations continued, and made great efforts to recover the damage that had been done. As well, the Na'vi could have benefited from thousands of years of technology and culture advancement. Both sides had huge amounts to gain from this relationship. But those are my thoughts on this subject. Please let me know if you have anything to add or any thoughts on what I have said. Thanks a lot, and bye.